The January transfer window is open, and one of the big early moves looks to be that man, Bournemouth's Antoine Semenyo to Manchester City, but it is far from done yet. Hello there, welcome along to Good Morning Transfers. The January window is up and running, and we look set for another bumper month of deals. Alongside me for the hour, former Bournemouth midfielder Dan Gosling and James Green, who is keeping across all the deals for you. Arsenal may be top of the table for the start of 2026, but will Mikel Arteta look to strengthen his squad in a bid to end their long wait for a Premier League trophy? Premier League history. Could Mikel Arteta, though, add more depth? Let's find out and speak to our reporter, Dharmesh, who's keeping warm in North London. Dharmesh, a very good morning to you. What do we think then? Will Arteta be tempted to push for a few signings to help bolster those Premier League title chances?
Yeah, morning, Will. I would say at this stage, it's likely to be a quiet window in January for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta has been asked the question in previous news conferences. He said, "We are Arsenal. We will keep our eyes open." I only think they will go into the market if a unique market opportunity was to present itself, or a long-term target suddenly became available. But even then, you've got to realise their squad is so good, as you mentioned before, that there's at least two players in each position. Mikel Arteta is having to leave out certain players from his 20-man squad, let alone his first 11. And if you look at January, Arsenal, like many other clubs, go into a summer transfer window and they don't think, let's go big in January. That's never the approach. And the last time they actually did any kind of key business in a January transfer window, you have to go back to January 2023. That's 3 years ago, when Leandro Trossard, Jakub Kiwior and Jorginho all joined the club. So you'd have to say at this stage, it looks like it's going to be a quiet window for Arsenal. But as you say, you never know. And with what Mikel Arteta has been saying in news conferences, and I'm sure he'll be asked the question again this morning, he says that we are always alert to any opportunity.
Yeah, and look, it was a good result, wasn't it, last night for Arsenal, with Manchester City, Dharmesh, drawing up at Sunderland. A 4-point lead, a new year for Mikel Arteta and his side, and they'll want to pick up exactly where they left off in 25.
Oh, 100%. And I'm sure they really enjoyed Manchester City dropping points at the Stadium of Light last night. But as far as Arsenal are concerned, what a way to end 2025 with that statement victory over Aston Villa by 4-1 at the Emirates. And look, the games are coming thick and fast, though, aren't they? They've got Bournemouth tomorrow. It will be their 5th game in 15 days. I know every other club has got that problem as well with this fixture schedule, but Arsenal's season so far, even though they are top, has been blighted by injuries. But you get the impression that they are moving closer to a fully fit squad. You'll know that Kai Havertz returned to the squad against Aston Villa for the first time since the opening day of the season. Gabriel Jesus scored his first goal for Arsenal since New Year's Day in 2025. There are a few other injury issues that Arsenal have got in the form of Christian Mosquera, Ricardo Calafiori, and of course Declan Rice, who missed that game against Aston Villa. They should be on the mend and returning very, very soon. Let's see if the Bournemouth game is too soon, but I'm sure Mikel Arteta normally keeps his cards close to his chest, but we will ask him if there are any updates on those players. He's addressing the media, Will, at around 9:30 this morning. We'll bring you the best of that right here on Sky Sports News. And of course, Bournemouth against Arsenal is the live Saturday night football coverage. Gets underway on Sky Sports Premier League tomorrow from around 5 p.m.
Dharmesh, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Mr. Dan Gosling. So look, Arsenal are in a great position. They've got a deep squad that has been doing the business. If you're Mikel Arteta, do you stick with what you've got, or do you try and bring something in Jan?
Really difficult. Dharmesh said it, if a unique opportunity came along, then they'll be there, like every top club should be. Semenyo is a unique opportunity, I believe.
Are you surprised they didn't move on that?
I am, but at the same time, they are well stocked in wide areas. They're well stocked through the middle. Gabi Jesus has just come back, started scoring. They've got Kai Havertz on the verge of coming back. So there's another two attackers where arguably they could get in the starting 11. So I'm not totally surprised, because there's just no room for him. Maybe if they sold one and got him in, I believe they could have done that. possibly Trossard, maybe. There was links last year with Trossard. He ended up staying.
I mean, arguably there's no room for him at City, but Pep's stockpiling him as well.
yeah, I agree. I think the difference is Arsenal's wingers are contributing a lot of goals. To take someone out, Saka plays no matter what. Obviously, Gyökeres they've spent big money on, so he normally plays. It's just the left-hand side, and Martinelli and Trossard have rotated. That's probably the side where if anywhere, I would see Semenyo. But at the same time, Martinelli's young, he's improving all the time. Trossard gets really important goals. Really important goals.
I was going to say, Trossard's had a great season this
so
year. You've got Eberechi Eze as well, who can play out on the left, that they spent quite a lot in. Dan was going to ask you, being in a changing room during a transfer window, a team that's doing so well, top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, is there a risk that if you do bring someone in, it could just disturb things a little bit?
Yeah, there is that. I think if Semenyo did go to, say, an Arsenal, I think that the two guys on the left would be a little bit concerned and think, oh, where's my game time coming? So it can upset it a little bit. So I don't see Arsenal moving for Semenyo, to be honest. I think in another window, in maybe the summer possibly, would have more time to sort the squad out. But at this moment in time, and the other caveat is people don't want to leave Arsenal right now.
Yeah.
They're on the verge of winning the Premier League for the first time in 15, 20 years. So, why would you want to leave when you're playing a big part in the squad?
And it's hard to argue against what we just mentioned there, this Arsenal squad being the strongest in Premier League history. I mean, look, the Invincibles were incredible, but as a squad and as a group of players, and 2 and 3 in every position now, James. But where if they did look to strengthen, and we've heard this phrase twice over the last 5 minutes, this unique opportunity, positionally, where would they be weakest in looking?
Well, look, unique opportunities come and go. Look, these clubs have plans throughout. They have plans for a year, 2 years, 3 years in advance. If a player that they're looking at maybe getting in the summer all of a sudden comes available in January and they think they can steal a march on one of their rivals, then they could potentially jump and do it. Arsenal are in that position to do that if they need to. If you talk about Arsenal's weak, look, it's very difficult to see a weakness in that squad. It is the deepest squad I've ever seen at Arsenal, ever. They've got replacements in every single position, players that Mikel Arteta now trusts, which was an issue previous seasons where he didn't trust those players to come in, hence why he had such a tight group to play so many minutes and so many games, led to a lot of injuries. I think the back line with obviously Mosquera's injury maybe leaves them maybe a little bit vulnerable at times, but still we've seen them cope without Gabriel, without Saliba. Ben White didn't play much, then he's come in. Timber's missed a couple of games. Calafiori's out, but you've got Lewis Skelly still there. You feel like with this Arsenal side, there are still 2 players in every single position, and they're not just like a squad player. They are 2 players that you feel could play for a lot of Premier League sides and do a wonderful job as well.
I know James is answering this, but just finally on Arsenal, on City, on Semenyo, on the title race, does the Semenyo signing, which looks like it's imminent for City, give them the advantage, do you think, in the title race, Dan?
I think it's going to go down to the wire. I think it's going to be really close. I see it as a 2-horse race. Villa are doing fantastic, and that they could add as well with a couple departing. But I don't see them lasting. I think you could see the gulf in quality the other night when Arsenal played them. I think they overran them in the end. After Villa's strong start, they could have went 1 or 2 up, to be honest. But in the end, I think that the quality's shown. Semenyo gives Man City more goals.
Is that a fence you're sitting on there, Dan?
I still believe City will actually come back.
There we go.
To be honest,
got there in the end, Dan. Right.
As the new year gets underway, the January transfer window has officially opened, presenting clubs with an opportunity to reinforce their squads, and Arsenal appear poised to take advantage of this period to address key areas. With ambitions of sustaining their competitiveness at the highest level, the North London side is reportedly exploring options to add depth and quality to their team. Among the names attracting attention is Antoine Semenyo, whose profile aligns with Arsenal's tactical needs and long-term vision. Notably, the club is believed to be in a strong position to outmaneuver Manchester City in the race for his signature, a development that could significantly influence the dynamics of the transfer market this winter.